All right, Cade, we had the NFL divisional round this weekend, and we saw four games that were a lot less competitive than the Super Wildcard weekend in that no game was closer than 7 points. Couple of interesting matchups still happen, some key moments still happen. Unfortunately, I have to eat crow. I said Daniel Jones and the New York Football Giants were going to beat the Eagles. I said that he was the best quarterback left in the NFC. And it was all predicated on my theory that Hurts would come out flat, and he 100% did not. I am shocked at how good they look. But let's open up with the Chiefs Jags game. And love to hear your thoughts on this. In another video, I already mentioned to you that I thought Mahomes was a little bit prideful and egotistical to go out and play the end of that first quarter with the injury, and that Peterson made a mistake by not calling timeouts to force him to run more plays there. So I'd like to, aside from the game outcome, I'd also like to hear your thoughts on the strategic narrative there. Should Peterson really have kind of tortured him by making him take more snaps without taping that ankle?
100%. Doug Peterson should have. I totally agree with you on that. If you ever smell blood in the water like that, I make him run as many plays and I send as many zero blitzes as I possibly can to try to get
Yes.
him out of the pocket. Because if you can knock Patrick Mahomes out of that game, not like hurt him bad or anything, but just make him run on what seemed to be a really sore ankle, even if you can do that, then you're going to have a big advantage in the second half. The fact that he didn't do that is just weird. I don't know if there was like some weird gamesmanship thing going on there. What?
See, and I think that the gamesmanship aspect, because I felt like that's probably why he didn't, is that people would think he's the literal devil.
Yeah,
My issue is that he isn't the one who made Mahomes continue to take snaps, and neither did Mahomes' coach or trainers. They were telling him to sit down and let him tape it up and get him in shape, and he ran out anyways and wanted to do it. That, like, it was foolish to me. I didn't like it at all.
I disagree with that. I think anytime that you're in, I mean, how many times did we see Brett Favre go out with like a busted ankle and go and try to lead the Packers to? I think that this is just how these guys are wired. Like if you're in a high leverage playoff game, you're going to do everything you can to help your team win. And I mean, I'm sorry, like as good as Chad Henne was in that one drive. Patrick Mahomes still probably gives you your best chance to win if he can do anything at all, right? Was he so hobbled where Chad Henne was a better quarterback in that situation? I mean, I think it's kind of hard to say that if they won the game. Patrick Mahomes 22 of 30, 195, two touchdowns. I mean, he wasn't bad. He had the
Yeah, he wasn't
77 overall
bad.
QBR, 112 quarterback rating. Like he was good.
Those injuries do have a way though of kind of getting worse over the rest week. He's going to swell up pretty badly, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens next week. I'll say some key things from our other videos we did last week looking at this game. We had Pacheco to lead the weekend in rushing yards, and that's what,
What?
honestly a big motivator for me wanting Hurts to have sat.
Yeah, or
Um,
Mahomes.
yeah, Mahomes taps that, and then we also had this game being the lowest scoring of the weekend because of the calculator. The calculator had it coming in at 45 points, which let's just look at it. 20 to 27 is solid, and
Yep.
that's actually one of the projected scores that one of my models gave. So I thought I was pretty happy with that.
That
Um,
was excellent. I actually noticed that after the game. I was like, "Dang, oh man, Casey's project. You've done that a few times this year where your projections have been right on the money."
yeah, it's been really interesting. I'm excited for next season because I haven't been rolling it all year long, and next season I'll be rolling it. It'll be really cool to see.
Right. Okay. Otherwise, I thought Jacksonville gave a valiant effort.
Hmm.
I think they played really well. I think our analysis before the game, where we both picked the Chiefs, but we both said that Jacksonville is not just going to lay down, roll over, and let them beat them by 30. That's not going to happen. This team's going to come out and play, and they did. They did. Zay Jones had a really good game, 5 catches for 83 yards. He didn't score a touchdown. Kirk had his touchdown. I thought the defense played reasonably well for Jacksonville. I thought the defense for the Chiefs played really well. For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
They had a few hiccups, but
That was, I thought, what their big hole was early in the season, but it seems like towards the latter end of the season, and then so far last week, they've really proven themselves as a defense to me. Um, can they do it against Burrow next week? I don't know. We'll see what the calculator says, and we'll see what it happens on the field. But
I will
um,
say I will say one guy that I just want to give a shout out to is Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton has come into the league and really over his first 2 years has proven himself to be like an upper tier linebacker in the NFL. I don't know if I would go as far as to say that he's like one of the top 5 linebackers in the NFL, but he's certainly on that track if he's not there already. He has been excellent for the Chiefs, and I don't think I think that linebackers are probably the least valuable defensive position outside of maybe nose tackle. But when you have one as good as Nick Bolton, he really can elevate a defense
it's
to
an
another
asset.
level. Yeah.
The really good ones are still assets. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, let's move on to the next game
This is
from
a shame.
Saturday.
I had it 23-22 or 24-21, and I was way off
Yep,
on
it
the
happens.
the
It
Jalen
happens.
Hurts experience.
Yep.
I enjoyed it all season long. I didn't love it this week.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts, our theory coming in was that if Jalen Hurts was hobbled from that injury, if he wasn't 100% ready, then the Giants may have a chance to come in here. But in reality, I think Jalen Hurts could have been, walking on one leg out there and beating the Giants. I mean, this was just an absolute beatdown.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones didn't look great. The run defense of the Giants, this is really surprising to me. The run defense of the Giants just could not stop Philadelphia. They were doing anything they wanted on the ground. I mean, it was pretty incredible. 268 rushing yards from the Eagles with 3 rushing touchdowns. And the leading rusher, the prop bet was
Kenneth Leviticus Gainwell.
Nobody saw. I don't even think he was available to be bet upon, was he?
So in our dynasty, no, he wasn't. They limited the field this week a lot. But I will tell you, in our dynasty league that you started and then or we're going to be in and you're not in. Last year, I took him with my final pick in our 7-round rookie draft. I took Kenneth Gainwell and I started talking trash about how he was better than, can't remember who it was, Etienne and somebody else. And then he had a couple good games to start the season. So I know he has the talent and he's got something. But he's just not
small.
their guy. Yeah, he's just a little guy. He's not their guy, but he's a good person to have on the team, I think. And
he reminds me.
He put up a performance.
I think his upside is kind of like what was the Eagles running back's name from several years ago?
Sproles?
No, not Sproles. Westbrook. Brian Westbrook.
Oh yeah. Westbrook.
Kind of a.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, well, I don't think Kenneth Gainwell is Brian Westbrook, but I think that stylistically they're kind of similar. More of like a receiving back that can also get it done a little bit on the ground. Is shifty, doesn't have like a ton of downfield speed, but knows how to move in space. Like he's a really interesting back. I liked him coming out of the draft. I was kind of disappointed we didn't see more of him last season, or this season for that matter. Like he had a few good games, but hopefully this is a sign that they're gonna, kind of lean on him a little bit more.
We did talk about the Giants' rush defense being a liability coming into last week, and it reared its ugly head. So like that was where the game was made.
The linebacker play is just so bad. I think their front four is pretty good. I mean, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, all those boys, that's not a joke. It's a pretty good defensive line. Even Ojulari, he didn't have a great game, but Ojulari is a good player too. But I think linebacker could be a target for them in this upcoming draft for sure.
Hey, let's go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to move sort of. You were finishing a thought. I was just going to kind of phase into that next game.
Okay, yeah. You don't want to spend too much time on this one, huh?
No, yeah. This is an embarrassment. I had the Giants money line. I don't know. The under was a good pick. We did post that one out, but this one was rough.
Yeah. I did pick the Eagles. I did give a little credence to your Giants pick. I didn't think it was that bad, but yeah, the Eagles rolled.
In
And
fact, I
then
think you and I are now tied in game picks for the playoffs so far.
we
At a
are,
pretty good result. 8
but
and 1 or 7 and 1 right now.
yeah, but I can't remember. I'm
You had the
pretty
Bills
sure.
here. I had the Bengals.
Okay, so that tie is about to get broken.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is. But I do think we flipped again. I can't remember if you went with the Cowboys with me because I was
I
definitely on the
did.
Cowboys.
I did. We both lost
Um.
that one.
So yeah.
Okay.
So Snow Burrow, what a game!
Yep. Yep. I was very surprised by this. And you know, like I don't want to crap on Josh Allen too much because it was very difficult elements, but if
Yeah.
you've got to be used to that by now. I mean, like you play in Buffalo, my dude.
Yeah.
Like
It's tough
it's
when you're
not
a
really
fringe
that
playoff quarterback like Josh Allen, though, and you're not the arguably the best quarterback in the NFL in Snow Burrow.
right.
So I do think we'll see this matchup in these conditions a lot in the future. I'm excited for the next 5-10 years of NFL football because these are two franchises I'd love to see play big, meaningful games like this
To me,
over and over and over again.
to me the biggest thing for Buffalo losing this game I thought was their inability to establish the run. They just could
Mm-hmm.
not get the run going, and in a game like this where you know the ball may be a little wet, slippery, you're not going to be able to get your feet under you as well as you normally do. I think that like being able to run the football for 34 attempts for 172 yards against Buffalo going 19 for 63. I think that was the difference in this game. I mean, it was a
Mm-hmm.
17-point game, so there was a big difference. I mean, the Josh Allen's turnover was also a pivotal, but yeah, I think honestly the Bengals won this game on the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah, they I think people have been sleeping on the Bengals defense a lot this year too, all season long, and they've had some issues and they've had liabilities. Eli Apple made probably the best play of his career, and this is somebody who's seen a lot of bad Eli Apple plays and
On
literally target receivers that go against him in daily fantasy. But um, he made some nice plays in this one.
honestly, I've got to give a shout out to the entire Cincinnati secondary
Mm-hmm.
because their cornerbacks had unbelievable games. I've never been an Eli Apple guy. I thought that was a terrible
Mm-hmm.
pick. Like when the Giants,
Everyone who
when
ever
the
traded
Giants
for him
it.
made a mistake.
Yeah, yeah. But him, Cam Taylor Britt, Mike Hilton, Jesse Bates played well.
Heck of
All
a
of them,
game.
like they were just
Jesse Bates is a great safety too in the NFL. Like their whole team. It's not. I like the Bengals because it's not all. Oh, it's just the quarterback, and if he loses his legs, like he's not even one of those guys that has to run the ball to get it.
have they. I'm pretty sure isn't Jesse Bates like aren't they losing him after this season? I don't think they figured out the contract.
I'm not sure.
Situation with him. Like he's had trade rumors around him for like 2 years.
The Raiders
now.
will take him.
Yeah, I think anybody would take Jesse Bates. He is very good safety.
Yeah.
But yeah, that secondary played very very good. I mean, to stop
Yeah.
Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, hold them because I mean their leading receiver was Dawson Knox, and it wasn't close. He had 65 yards. The next closest guy was Khalil Shakir with 40.
Yeah.
They just played a great game overall. And if I was Kansas City, I would be pretty nervous about next week because
They're
they are
the
not
Bengals are
going
to be a
over.
great AFC representative in the Super Bowl.
You love making hyperbolic like definitive picks like way too early, don't you?
That's
Like
not
that,
way too early.
that's like your thing.
It's
Uh,
the week of the game.
um
Yeah, we'll see what the calculator says though.
yeah. Let's
I do
let's,
think that
let's
they're
wait for the-
better in my heart.
I wouldn't push back too much on that. I love their playmakers, and I think the Chiefs. I think they have some playmakers, but they're not nearly as explosive as they have been in the past. But anyways,
This is not. Is this going to be a neutral site game or no? This one is going to be in Kansas City, right? Isn't that what they decided on this?
ooh, I am not sure. I don't.
I believe it's going to be in Kansas City
Is it?
because, yeah,
It was only going to be a neutral site if it was Buffalo, Cincinnati. Or wait,
yeah.
Okay.
No, if it was Buffalo, Kansas City.
Okay, Buffalo, Kansas City. Okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, but anyways, 49ers Cowboys. This game was very disappointing for me because I thought Dallas was going to roll. I thought Dallas would win this game. Dak Prescott, he gave me all the hope in the world, and then he ripped it all away. He was not good in this game at all. 23 for 37, 206 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. He was not good. Brock Purdy was just good enough. He really wasn't like a ton better, but he didn't make the mistakes that Dak made. And the 49ers were able to rely on their run game, rely on their defense, and take a low-scoring game. I think we both thought this game would be a little more high-scoring than this. I thought both offenses would show that they were a little more explosive than they ultimately ended up being. But
even with the great defenses, I felt like Dallas had enough to put it together, and I felt like I don't know. We were right on the fact that we thought Dallas's defense would be a problem, and that San Francisco's defense would be a problem. But I kind of saw like a defensive touchdown being scored here or there. I saw maybe some turnovers on the positive side of the field, to put them in scoring position more easily. And then Dallas, I think, too, couldn't get out of their heads with that blocked extra point to start the game. What a shame.
Hey,
they could not get out of their heads for the kickers. But the plus 500 on the missed field goal kick would have hit.
Yeah, it would have, but was that on the question where it was like, where does it was blocked an option?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember if blocked was an option.
Gosh, that had to be the 33-1 one though. If it was,
yeah,
because that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one guy that I was really disappointed in for Dallas was Micah Parsons. He had a quarterback hit and a pressure, and he did have a pass deflection, but I really thought he would be in that backfield all day, and he just wasn't. He had an okay game, and he had to have like a great game. He had to really harass Brock Purdy. Now on like DeMarcus Lawrence had a decent game. He had a sack. He had a few. Did he have more pressures? I don't know. I'd have to go to Pro Football Focus see if he had more pressures than Micah Parsons. But Odigizua also had a sack. But they just weren't able to get to him as often as they probably wanted to. Because I think if you were able to get a little bit more pressure on Brock Purdy, they probably score 10 fewer points than they ended up scoring. Especially in the fourth quarter. So
Purdy looked really good again for what he had to do, and they didn't make a lot of mistakes in general on offense. So they won the game. It's not like Dallas lost it, I don't think, but like as a whole team, San Francisco won. DeMeco Ryans is going to be a great head coach, or he's at least going to revitalize the Houston Texans defense. That's probably where I think he's going, just given the narrative of his career. But
yeah, to me, Purdy had the game that I kind of thought he would have if everything went like kind of right for him, or not. If Dallas wasn't able to get to him as much as they would like, I think Purdy is the kind of quarterback that can ride a great team really far. I don't think Purdy is the kind that can elevate a good team to become great or an average team to become good. I don't think
you probably have the Eagles right now, like just intuitively, you think the Eagles are going to win this?
I'll have to look at everything. Right now, I do have the Eagles in the NFC Championship.
That's what I think.
Simply because of the quarterback play. But the X factor with Purdy is the fact that he has Kyle Shanahan. And and that offense is just, it's a nightmare to deal with. And even though, like, I keep saying this about Dallas's defense, but they weren't bad. Dallas's defense was not bad.
They weren't bad. They played well.
They really locked down once. They did allow, the 49ers to move the ball. But once they got down into the red zone, Dallas's defense really kind of buckled down and did well. But, that offense is not easy to stop, even though Dallas did a decent job against it. Like between the 20s, this offense knows how to move the football. So
yeah, one of the best.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I was disappointed in this game. I was honestly disappointed in the whole weekend. The teams that I wanted to win didn't win for the most part. The teams that the games that I thought would be competitive ended up not being all that competitive. And hopefully next weekend is a little better. But
I think gut instinct next week. I think we see a 10-point win for the Bengals. We see a close win for the Eagles, probably one late in walk-off fashion in a high-scoring game. And then I see the Bengals Eagles being the Super Bowl matchup and probably coming away with a Bengals victory.
You were all in on Burrow and the Bengals, huh?
I just the eye test recently, and this is nothing
Yeah.
about the numbers. I mean, if I put the calculator to it, it's probably going to speak something a little bit different. But the eye test for me just has it on Burrow.
The only thing that
And I
makes
think
me
long term, I think I like the Bengals better than the Eagles. Like, you know what I mean? Like over 5 years, if I had to choose who's going to win the most Super Bowls,
really,
probably the Bengals.
Interesting. I think I'd probably go with the Eagle. The one thing about the Bengals that makes me, and it's made me reluctant ever since he's been there. I think that right now at this point in the playoffs, their head coach is by far the worst in the playoffs. I don't think Zach Taylor is like an awful NFL coach, but I don't think he's amazing either. And I really like Andy Reid. I really like Sirianni.
Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan are the obvious top two to me.
I think Sirianni is
strictly the head coach.
I think Sirianni has proven himself to be among the top 10 to 12 head coaches in the league. I think he's really good. I think what he's done with Jalen Hurts and his ability to kind of get him to elevate to the next level when nobody else thought that he could has been really impressive. And I give him a lot of credit for that. But Zach Taylor, I think, has just been the benefactor of just like an excellent situation. I don't think that's it. I think he's like an okay head coach, but I think that I would have him significantly behind the other three, and that just makes me a little reluctant to buy into the Bengals full sale.
I struggle to like go in one direction on any of these four coaches. I think that you might be surprised again over the next few years. You might change, like that might sound different. Like you might start to see Zach Taylor in a different light. I don't think we've quite seen enough of Zach Taylor or Nick Sirianni to make really strong definitive statements. I think we have seen enough of Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid to know that they're the high echelon. Like if we were doing that tier video right now, we'd have them up near the top.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah. All right. I think that's it.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit all the buttons and let us know what you'd like to see.
Yeah, do all the things, hit all the buttons, and we will
say all the words.
Yeah, say all the words in the thing below the video too. Yeah, we'll see you guys later. Bye.